She's in all 50 states. I don't know what
doing
you're talking
commentary
about.
from the same room.
I was trying to. Your mom does live in California, right? Because I was just not trying to be mean. Gosh.
Wow, that was such a jerk.
Gosh.
Oh, that was the best your mom joke ever. All right, let's get on to this game.
That's what I do.
Maybe.
All right, I'm gonna hit the record button because I think we're starting. Hey, everybody! Welcome to the OSL Finals. Matt here with Matt and Steve SC, moletrap, dejavu, Frank here, bringing you Game 1 of mOvie versus FlaSh here. We are going to start off. You can see all the people. The excitement is in the air. Both here, both out there on the interwebs where there are literally thousands of people listening to this live right now. We appreciate all of you guys. Chat in sc2gg.com/chat. If you're looking for that, we have disabled the chat on the actual channel here. We are going to be starting off. The first game is going to be on Hearbreak Ridge. You see everybody on their feet right there. Players are getting ready to go. We just heard an interview in the pregame. mOvie said he is prepared for this matchup, even though he was a little shy. He said he'd been really practicing. He's ready to go. Obviously, we know FlaSh. FlaSh came out of the womb ready for this matchup. Or actually, I should say he came out of the factory.
Let me interrupt real quick just to mention, for those of you that are watching this on YouTube later on, in case you missed the preview,
Yes.
This is being recorded live. We're doing this live, so obviously we don't know what happened or anything like that. And that's why we're going to see a little bit of technical difficulties. I just want to apologize for that ahead of time, just because I know they always happen on live matches.
Right.
So if the video quality is a little bit bad, we apologize for that, but it's all we could really do. We've got a whole bunch of crap set up here, just trying to get this all to work, and it's kind of amazing we've managed to kind of throw it all together. So apologies for that, but we're doing the best we can. And I also wanted to mention that because I knew that there were going to be some noobs watching on YouTube who went to the chat channel expecting to talk to people because they didn't realize that YouTube wasn't live. But anyway, we got the first game going here,
we
and
go.
I am stoked to see some
Booyah.
actual action here right now. We got Hearbreak Ridge. FlaSh starting in orange at the left side of the map. We got mOvie starting in red at the right side of the map. The two colors of fire!
And
we're going to have a fiery game here!
And look at that stream, ladies and gentlemen. What did I tell you? I've been promising you for the last hour and a half. It looks great. I'm assuming it's looking great for you guys as well. All right, we're going to see mOvie going for a 9-hatch here and possibly some cheese. No, of course, we're not going to see that. All right, so here's the question that we've been asking. Is mOvie going to try something ballsy and something crazy here in Hearbreak Ridge?
There it is.
Probe out.
Oh no.
Probe's already out.
He's going
This is
towards
sad.
fastest man. I'm just kidding.
I'm sad.
Wow, so it does look like we are going to see, what I'm thinking what he's probably going to do right now is that probe wasn't like his 5th probe or anything like that. He's probably going to do a gas steal is what I'm thinking. That's what that is. It's not going to do proxy gates or anything like that. He's just going to go for a gas steal. That makes a lot of sense. It slows down the turn tech. Look at that. He's checking up for a proxy gateway on top of the ridge there. I saw some Protoss player, I don't remember who, for some reason, did a cannon rush on this map where they did that. They put the forge on that ridge above the natural, and then they actually didn't even build the cannons until after the CC landed.
Wow.
So that right when the SCVs were getting there, the forge landed, started cannoning. Anyway, the cannons started shooting. Anyway,
There
so
it
there's
is.
the gas steal.
Man, Moletrap, you're good.
Oh yeah,
You're good. All right.
We didn't pick an order, by the way. We usually pick an order in the beginning, so we don't talk over each other. So why don't we just go with dejavu next, and then Frank, you can go after dejavu, and we'll go in that order.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Alright, that works. I mean, big probe steal, gas steal, obviously that's big, but we saw FlaSh already fend it off from Best in a previous round. He's well attuned to this. I think we could see anything from Best Command Center to maybe even do a little bit of pressure from him, throw down, just build a few Marines and go for pressure. I expect him to really go for a fast command center and try and maybe teach mOvie a little lesson on what happens when you try and cheese the Terran player.
Yeah, and actually, we've actually seen a build or something like this happen recently against FlaSh where his gas was stolen. I'm not going to spoil the match, who was in the matchup rather, but he actually had his gas stolen. He went for that early command center, and then he ended up just completely dominating the game against a Protoss player. Now, However, mOvie, on the other side of things, may have planned for this. He may have seen that game because it was fairly recent. He may have seen that game and planned out not only the gas steal, but the follow-up as well, because now he knows what FlaSh does after a gas steal. And a gas steal isn't obviously standard, so yeah, here he is going for that command center.
You're
So
right.
we're going to have to see. Maybe mOvie has completely built this out. He has the structure to deal with this early command center.
That's really, really smart. I mean, the idea, and only real top level players can do this, which is you control what your opponent does. Whether it's drawing your opponent to a certain area of the map while you attack in another area of the map. Wow, we can see a hidden probe at the top right there. I'm sorry, top left.
I hope.
Yeah, we could see some proxy tech going up there. I'm assuming that's what that's for here, to try to keep FlaSh off of his game. One thing that I think a lot of people tend to forget about FlaSh is that he scans like crazy. The second FlaSh gets the comsats up, I think he has some of the best scanning abilities and some of the best go-to map hacks, apparently, because he might actually be able to find this here. Now, no tech has been built right now. It is just a pylon at this point. Oh my god! And FlaSh spots him. Dude, I almost saw a smirk there. I think they went off of his face. I almost saw a smirk
Click
there.
the building! Oh,
Wow.
it is a robo. He's going to go for it anyway.
Yeah, proxy robo facility is there, and there's some white people in the crowd sitting in their own section because they have to put white people in one section so they can get them all in video at once, because that's what they have to do. And
Section 2, non-gosu.
Wow,
Did you see that?
that was
Holy
like
gas?
6 gas SCVs.
He really wanted
sent
extra
them all
gas.
there. Yeah, that actually. Well, you see, he was making up for the for not having the refinery
gas
earlier. One thing that the commentators were saying is that basically mOvie has made this special build order and placement in preparation for this game. So what you guys were saying was exactly right. That Korean commentators said the same stuff.
Yeah, so he also was. They were saying that mOvie was trying really hard to harass FlaSh because you can't leave him unchecked. I'm really not surprised that FlaSh found that so quickly, because we saw him, check for scout earlier. I mean, everyone, if you ask anyone, they're like, oh, mOvie's only chance is cheese. And we were talking before the game in the pregame show where we're like, proxy Reavers is probably mOvie's best bet to actually beat FlaSh, because then you can get some early scarabs in there and that kind of thing. I think Frank said that earlier, and I was agreeing with that. And FlaSh, obviously is going to know that a lot better than even us. So he was aware of that. He's like, I bet he's going to try something like that. I'm going to make sure he's not cheesing me and check for the best spot to put that proxy robo. Now he's got a couple factories down. He's having to repair that bunker. He's going to be in good shape. He's got a nice wall, so the Dragoons can't just walk by. So he's going to be doing pretty well. Now, mOvie, interestingly enough, though, has switched up his tactics. He made the observatory instead of going for early Reavers because he knew FlaSh had scouted it. FlaSh is now actually putting up turrets, which he may not need, especially if mOvie just decides to go for a macro build. He's getting an expansion down, getting 2 expansions down, pulling a Stork and double expanding. And I think that's a really good move, because now FlaSh is spending money on those turrets and trying to get siege mode up to play defensive. He's not going to be thinking about being offensive as much. He's got these turrets all over the place. He's got the eBay and everything. So he's not going to be able to push out quite as quickly. So mOvie might be able to get away with this double expand, and it's really, really smart of him to realize that his proxy had been scouted and change his plans. I mean, that's really the mark of a good player, to be able to pull that off. Will he be able to really pull it off, though, is the question.
And you know what else is that, that Reaver or that proxy robo isn't completely wasted. He can just throw down an observatory, start building some observers out of there, and he still should be able to get a couple out before FlaSh can deal with it. So he should still be able to get a good amount of use out of it. So it's not like he's giving it up completely. 2 machine shops for FlaSh, so it's going to be a lot of tanks coming out, a lot of upgrades going to come out really fast. And he's really going to need to scan this out. You mentioned earlier, FlaSh has really good scans. He's always looking around. If he scans this, we could see FlaSh transition maybe into some sort of a vulture play and just start trying to harass mOvie to death, because that would definitely be a viable option. Both those bases are separated by pretty long land distance, so it's going to be hard for me to cover both unless he decides to get some early cannons.
Yeah, and the other thing too, I was talking about this in the pregame show here about FlaSh's newfound aggression, and especially on a map like this, I think FlaSh is going to know. He's going to see those 3 Dragoons. He's going to see that those numbers have not increased, and he's going to know what's going on. He's going to know that there's nexuses going up all over the map, and he's going to know to just push. And I think he's going to throw down those extra factories. Like I was saying before, he's got this new like between 4 and 6 factory build where he just goes off of 2 bases and he just goes absolutely buck wild, and he just pushes his way through the Protoss front door and just contains him, just chokes him to death. And the Protoss, it comes down to one push to try to break out, and it never happens. So we're going to have to see if mOvie, I think that's what FlaSh is going to go for here. He's got a lot of tanks coming out. It might be something a little bit modified, a little bit different, but I do think that FlaSh is going to put on some aggression here.
Yeah. Well, this is definitely what mOvie needed to do. I think this is absolutely brilliant. I'm sure he practiced for both FlaSh not seeing that pylon and for FlaSh probably seeing the pylon. He probably practiced for every single possible variation of that.
Another base.
And another Nexus going up. So, and again, you want to have the economy now. I'm a little bit worried about another Nexus going up because we know how fast FlaSh just goes in a macro build. But you know why this can happen? Because of that. You can see the observers. We didn't see any sort of Reaver play. We didn't see any sort of cheesy Reaver drops. We saw observers first, as Dejavu pointed out. And right now, everything that FlaSh is doing is being seen. FlaSh, I didn't see if FlaSh has, no, FlaSh, of course, doesn't have comsats up yet. Or wait, no, he does. Are they there? Yeah, they are. Okay. Just up just now. So FlaSh is going to start scanning now, and, we might see him try to push out. But at any moment, the economy has just been building and building. And one thing that I love about the OSL here is we have the counter at the bottom right. We can see exactly what's going on. Both players are almost exactly the same at food count right now. Both players are almost the same as far as the minerals moving up and the gas moving up. So right now, this is a pretty even matchup. But if mOvie can get this extra base up, mOvie is going to go into the lead in economy. And if he can translate that lead into macro, which is what he's doing right now with an attack coming up possibly, then mOvie could definitely take a gain in this lead, or a lead in this game. But unfortunately, this is Hearbreak Ridge, and there are ridges, and there are tanks for FlaSh, and it's going to be tough to break.
Yeah, he's taking towards Arbiters now, though. And something that's really, really interesting, we saw mOvie he knew he needed to see what FlaSh was doing in his base. He sent in 2 observers piggybacked on one another in order to get at least one in. He actually got both into the base just barely. And he saw the factory count of FlaSh, just a little bit of skirmishing here going on. FlaSh is going to siege up. He's going to force those Dragoons back after taking a few pot shots. So mOvie had his observer camped on top of FlaSh's factories, and that's why he put down that 4th base, is because he saw only 2 factories. So he knew he was going for a macro game instead of a kind of a 5 factory push or something like that, which isn't really terribly new, by the way. But I think it's new to FlaSh. Basically, he doesn't do that as often, so he's been doing it a lot more. Just to clarify. But yeah, so FlaSh just going for a longer macro game, and mOvie, Phrank was saying before the game he really wanted to see mOvie completely out macro FlaSh, and we're actually kind of starting to see that.
Yeah, we're seeing
because we've got mOvie putting out a 4th base before FlaSh has his 3rd started. We've got him teching the arbiters, and yeah, all kinds of stuff. Dejavu, what were you saying there?
Oh, just saying that there was an Hydra sighting in the crowd.
Oh, there's an Hydra.
There he is again.
An Hydra sighting.
Nice.
The white guy.
Yeah,
in
we
Korea.
saw the guy earlier with the CJ Antis cap on. By the way, was Savior. By the way, I didn't mention this before. I'm actually wearing my CJ jersey that Effort gave me, just because I thought mOvie needed a little extra rooting. So I'm like, I'll wear a CJ shirt.
And he did literally get it from Effort. I was there.
Yeah,
I'm quite jealous of that.
Anyway, we do have FlaSh setting up a very, very long siege line here. He's got his depots and stuff. I was saying earlier also that gotta stop saying I was saying earlier that one of the things about this map is because you can go towards the top or the bottom, the Terran has to spread out his siege line a lot in order to get that 3rd base, and so he might be a little bit vulnerable for some flanking here. He's got an army on the right there. He's got a few forces on the left, putting up a 5th base!
Oh my god.
mOvie is totally going nuts here.
mOvie thinks he's a Zerg, apparently.
And FlaSh is setting up to maybe take his 4th base at the 6 o'clock position, but in the meantime, he is just going, look at that supply depots! That is awesome! He does not want to get his siege line broken by Zealots running in. That is freaking crazy.
He's literally walling the map. Like, if he continues,
it's probably ling tight too.
It probably is ling tight. Go ahead, Dejavu.
Does movie know what race he's playing? He's Protoss, not Zerg. You're not supposed to have 5 bases, 8 minutes into the game. I don't know where he came up with this strategy. It's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah.
I think predicted FlaSh going for this heavy macro build on this map. Taking that fast third is really common by Terrans, and he predicted it, threw up double expansion, quick fourth, and I think he's going to end up with a nice little advantage here. His bases are coming up earlier. He's going to have 2 Arbiters for recalls. Right over those supply depots. He could actually use recalls to break tank line.
Yep.
Which I've definitely seen before on this map when supply depot walls get up.
Man.
As often as supply depot walls come up on this map, absolutely. I haven't seen that yet when a recall goes across that supply depot wall. But yeah, I mean, this is absolutely crazy, and I actually do want to point out, though, I have seen a game with FlaSh. It is the one and only pro gamer replay that I've actually ever downloaded, and I saw this game, and it was FlaSh versus Stork, and Stork just went super disgusting expand, and he just completely out-expanded FlaSh. He had so many bases more than FlaSh had, and we might be seeing a recall here in the meantime. But anyways, like I was saying, before this recall goes off, and FlaSh just came out off of 3.5-ish bases, and another supply depot wall going up, by the way. He's about to double layer this sucker, and FlaSh just came out off of 3 or 4 bases, and he just completely destroyed Stork. Just one massive turn push, so I don't want to count FlaSh out of this at all. He absolutely has that option still available to him.
Well, we have a huge push coming in here from mOvie. mOvie breaking through that supply depot wall, the second wall here. A key stasis going off in the back as well. And just so many Protoss units coming in, but I think mOvie is going to be smart and retreat. He just wasn't able to get a good enough stasis off and get multiple stasises. A key thing here I was going to mention that he was able to stasis the science vessel. Where did that wall go, FlaSh? What happened to your wall? You just lost 5 supply depots there, buddy. FlaSh hasn't had a chance to really get a bunch more science vessels out right now. That was the timing for that attack. Wow, there's just a lot. I've never seen this build. I've never seen that much of a depot wall on this map. This is crazy. I feel like mOvie could have definitely moved in to do a recall at that point if he wanted to. But FlaSh is getting super prepared for that recall. He has, oh my gosh, and another expansion that's going up there that is going to get canceled and then blocking. mOvie is playing brilliantly right now. I mean, at this point in time, mOvie expanding when he needed to, expanding when he had the time. He has 3 Arbiters out, getting the tech up quick, getting the expansions up quick. FlaSh, I'm surprised. The one thing FlaSh doesn't have here, he does not have any mines. There are no mines scattered around for those turrets. So mOvie could technically get a couple recalls off, get maybe even a double recall, and he actually would be okay because most of what FlaSh has is out here. So I think this is the timing where mOvie needs to go for this. I think he is going to go for this. You see the High Templar tech out there as well. So this is something that we need to see. Just 2 science vessels out there right now. Let's see. So just 1 starport. Not going to be pumping anything there. And looks like the science vessel. Wow. And FlaSh making a perimeter of his buildings around his main there to detect anything coming in and starting to siege the bottom right base here. I think mOvie should be able to clean it up, but I don't see any forces going over there from mOvie. So mOvie actually losing almost all of these probes here. It's probably because mOvie's preparing for a giant recall, and I guess he feels like he can just lose that base at the time.
Hallucinated arbiters!
Oh my god, hallucinated arbiters coming in here. Go ahead, Moletrap.
Oh my god, I'm pretty sure there's hallucinations because he had the High Templar there a moment ago, and now there's a group of 5 arbiters moving in here. There's mines everywhere, there's turrets everywhere.
Oh, there are
hallucinations mines. Taking a turret hits. He's able to get past the mines into the middle of the factories. There are Templars in there as well. Oh man, there's all kinds of crap blowing up on all sides. FlaSh trying to bring his forces back desperately. He doesn't have a lot, but unfortunately not a lot of forces were recalled. Some of them got damaged by that the mine as soon as they landed, and those Dragoons pop very, very quickly. Minimal losses. I don't know if FlaSh even lost a unit in that, because the mines went off, damaged most of those Dragoons, the tanks sieged up and killed them off as well. mOvie has now lost that bottom right base. FlaSh has now taken the 6 o'clock base. So FlaSh actually is kind of basically just even things back up. mOvie's trying to take that top left base now, but he really, really needs to do some damage to FlaSh right here. And coming in for another recall to follow up. The mines are gone. They've been cleared out. He's going to recall another Arbiter in there as well. More forces going down. FlaSh is prepared for it this time. An EMP right on top of those forces is going to soften them up. A nice job storing those vessels. But again, FlaSh already had his forces sieged in his base. from that last recall, so they pretty much just wiped the floor with those forces at the same time. What he really should have done is like a double recall. If he's going to do a recall like that, he's going to need to do it in a more remote location where FlaSh can't reinforce it as well, or he's going to need to do like more forces, do a double recall, or attack the front at the same time, or something like that, because just paltry little recalls is not going to do the trick.
And you know, when you look at this has actually turned into a really bad situation for me. He's done so little damage. He didn't even get any armories. I don't think he got any factories.
Right.
He's killed a few tanks here and there, and he lost that bottom right base. He's not mining out of that top left. He went from having 5 bases to about 3 or 4, and have an advantage in pretty much both side count and tech, and he's lost pretty much every advantage in this game. You look at the side counts at the bottom, he's down 40 side. FlaSh is almost maxed out, and he's probably just going to build up minerals for maybe another minute, and then he can just push out with a maxed army and whatever upgrades he has, whether that's 2-2, 3-2, something like that he should be at nearly right now. And Movie's going to have a lot of trouble stopping it. He's going to have to make sure that his Arbiters doesn't get EMP'd, and that he gets some really good stasis off, because he does not really have the army count to deal with this right now.
Those are just hallucinations.
Yeah. Just scouting for whatever's over there.
Yeah, and it looks like there was a massive push coming in here down at the 6 o'clock position. A ton of stasis, just disgusting amounts of stasis all over those tanks and some Goliaths and everything, and just these forces pushing in here, trying to clear up this base here, trying to push FlaSh back onto just 3 bases, and even then I think though FlaSh is going to have a little bit of an advantage in this game here. He is coming across here, EMP's going across everything, Storm going across a lot of SCVs here, missing with that Storm, not killing any SCVs. He stormed those minerals, and unfortunately I think he thought those were stasis units that could somehow take damage or something like that, but those were minerals, Movie. Unfortunate for you, but
they look similar,
yeah,
so...
Yeah, so he's not actually going to even take out the 6 o'clock position. So at this point in time, I think FlaSh has just defended himself and attacked himself into victory. And here's some science busts getting stormed, pretty cute there, losing those, I think, initial Marines that were from the beginning of the game. And now FlaSh is just going to push across here. Not sure which direction he's going to head, but that mech ball is going to start rolling. And it's going to roll hard and fast, and it's going to slam Movie in the face. This is going to be a horror movie by the end of this. Fun.
That was well done. I don't know why none of us have thought of that before this. I agree. I think Movie really had a chance, and I think he's kind of missed his chance. I think those were totally wasted drops. I would have liked to see those drops used as you guys mentioned before, to just bypass those walls. Or not drops, I'm sorry, I'm talking about recalls, you guys. Obviously there hasn't been any drops going on in this game. Just use the recall, double recall behind the wall, and clean up the map. Take some map control, and that could help you out. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. Movie did some recalls, lost a ton of units. He still has those units over at the bottom right that aren't really going to do much. And at this point, he's trying to clean up his bases. That Nexus is going to almost go down just to Vultures there. Oh, and it is going to go down. Vultures taking out the Nexus. FlaSh has killed 2 expansions of Movies, and how many has Movie killed of FlaSh? 0. In fact, he wasn't even able to kill any SCVs in that other attack here as well. So, as well as I think Movie had a good opening, and as much as I want to see Movie progress and do well in this, I think that kind of his time has been missed here, and unless we just see something that's somehow crazy effective, and he can pump out 20 carriers at once, I don't think he's going to be able to make it.
Movie started off really, really, really strong, and he's just, I wonder if losing that first base, losing that first battle may have gotten to him, because now we've started seeing those mistakes, the failed storms. He stormed the middle of nothing. He didn't even storm near the SCVs on that other storm. So doing that was kind of failing with getting the Dragoons over there to stop the Nexus from dying, that kind of thing. Failed recalls. So Movie, unfortunately, he's got a lot of bad things going for him, a lot of bad luck here. But also, I wonder if already things are starting to get to him. I mean, we'll have to see how it goes in the long run. But FlaSh now taking the center expansion, 2 gas mines. If he takes that, he's going to be able to pump out so much crap. He will never make another Vulture again. Well, he will actually for the Zealots, never mind. But he'll be able to make as many tanks, Goliaths, vessels as he needs to. He'll have so much gas in there. And looks like he is about to take that middle expansion. He may not even take that top Geyser, actually, just because it's more easier to defend. But that puts him ahead in bases by my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases to 1, 2, 3, for 5 bases. Yeah, 5 on 5, and actually one of those for movie is just going up.
Right.
So it's basically FlaSh has more bases, and you know, movie had a chance when he had 3 extra bases on FlaSh, but even bases, you don't really have a chance, is what I'm thinking here. He's got a big army, but he's gonna have to pull out something special. He's gonna have to pull out some kind of Jangbi or Noonie storms and destroy FlaSh's army. If he's going to have a chance at this game, because he needs to basically shut down a couple expansions real quick, or FlaSh has 2,700 minerals in the bank, 1,800 gas, and he's got a maxed army. I haven't seen the upgrades recently, but
I was
he's
just trying to look right now.
Probably got really good upgrades too. It is really, really looking grim for movie right now. I'm going to steal... Frank actually said something that someone said in the IRC first. I don't know if he read it or not. I'm going to steal a joke, too, from the IRC channel and say that movie is missing his debut on the big screen right now.
It's so sad. It's so sad, you guys.
Yeah, but you know, FlaSh here is just playing around, I almost feel like. He can probably win right now if he wants to. I mean, we got movie coming in here with an attack coming in, sneezing a bunch of things, but FlaSh just has so many tanks even in the back, layer after layer of tanks. And every time movie kills something that's not a tank, another tank is gonna pop up. And yeah, it's just that ridiculous right now. And even if the command center goes down, it doesn't matter. FlaSh still has so much money.
Yeah, FlaSh could literally just build command centers as scouting and just like fly them over movie's base to scout and see what movie's doing at this point. Go ahead, Frank. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah, one of my favorite things to do as a Terran player when I have this much money built up and this dominating of a position. And by the way, if you want to know the definition of dominating StarCraft position, I want you to take a screenshot of the middle of the map. Next time they show the middle of the map, just take a screenshot of that. Not to mention the turret line that we're seeing here, and the Protoss units scattered, and then the big ball of Protoss units that movie has is pinched in a corner and just fearing for their lives. If you look at that, they are pinched at the 12 o'clock position of the map, fearing for their lives. And yeah, so what I was saying, at this point in the game, as a Terran player, what I like to do is I just like to build a ton of engineering base and just float them over and let them know, you know, I've been upgrading Marines this whole time. What have you been doing?
Against the Protoss, that is like the ultimate bad manner. Oh wow, hitting almost every single High Templar, one science vessel only losing half of his health. That is why FlaSh is FlaSh, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that was a literal High Templar snipe from a science vessel. I bet you guys didn't think that was possible. Scoot over with your Queen Zero. We now have FlaSh. And that makes High Templars just as useless as if you were to actually snipe them with the Queen. Because now there's no storms that are going to go off. And I love what Dejavu said. That literally, it doesn't matter how many tanks at this point go down. They're going to be replaced with more tanks. The tanks are going to clone themselves before they die, and there will be more in their position instantly. So I feel like at this point, I mean, I'm glad we're not going to see movie go for any more dumb recalls. He has got the mining base back up at the top left. You know, he is still mining. He is trying to get back into it, sending out a scouting zealot there. I mean, both players are very close in food count right now. It looks like FlaSh is at 192 or 199. In fact, they're both in the 90s right now. So both players have maxed out armies. The problem is, FlaSh's maxed out army is a Terran army with about 70 tanks. So,
and 3-3 upgrades. By the way,
yeah.
Yeah, by all accounts, you know, Artosis is famous for, well, I don't know if he's famous for, but Artosis says all the time that maxed 3-3 Terran army, mech army, is basically the most powerful thing in the game, and it's true. It is the most powerful thing. We do have 3-3 upgrades for the Protoss as well, as Matt's pointing out to me, but it's still not going to be much of a match. And here he comes in, actually trying to do an attack on both sides. One of his three-sided attacks, stasis everywhere. He's trying to go in from multiple angles, a nice storm on that clump of tanks. And Zealot's coming from all different angles at the same time. He's trying to come in from different angles, but he's limited by the map at the same time, so he can't really come in with too much of his forces. Storming on those tanks again! All kinds of crap everywhere! And FlaSh loses like half a dozen units. Movie loses, well, no more than that.
No, he lost about 70.
He lost a lot of units. But I mean, like, he still has a huge army in the middle there. Movie has like half a dozen Dragoons and a couple Zealots. He's at 70 food. FlaSh is still at 130. And FlaSh now has no more money, which means in about 10 seconds he's going to jump up to like 150 supply when all of his factories pump something out. Movie doesn't have the money to replace that army. That was kind of his last army. FlaSh now taking the bottom right just for kicks. Is probably gonna. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if FlaSh starts doing some vulture harassment too. Now that there's no big army to stop his vultures from running around, just to put the nails in the coffin. I mean, the coffin's already kind of nailed shut. Now FlaSh is like got his welding torch out, and he's like welding the clasps shut.
Vacuum sealing.
He's like wrapping the coffin in duct tape at this point.
Zergling tight.
Yeah, just by and now he's attacking Movie's bases also. So once a base or two goes down, we're gonna see a GG here.
You know what's pretty cool? If you are watching the side count in the bottom right-hand corner, and if you're on YouTube, I highly suggest you rewind it and watch Movie side count. It goes from 195-ish to 100 in about 8 seconds. He raided 60 tanks, and everything blew up. He stasis over half the tanks, and there was still 30 more in the back, and everything still melted.
Right.
Yeah, and this is just, I don't even know. This game is probably breaking so many records. Like, the most area of the map revealed at one given time. Take a look at the frickin' mini-map. There's a little couple of patches of fog of war here and there, and they're only pretty much where Movie's bases have been destroyed. Yeah, and we see also a carrier tech, but seriously, give me a frickin' break here. FlaSh can put up so many frickin' turrets. He can seriously line the area around Movie's main base with turrets and sit back and relax. He can put his APM into thinking about hot chicks if he wants to. This is seriously so far gone and over with. It's just disgusting. And I want to say something right now. I don't know how many times I've looked at this minimap and said, hey, FlaSh is actually down a base, and then I'm sitting here thinking, oh wait, the middle base, which counts as 9 because it's the middle base.
Well, that's
not only.
Go ahead.
Not only the double gas, but it's quadruple demoralizing as well. So this is just a sweet game on FlaSh's part, I have to say.
God, Frank fits so many great one-liners into that. I don't even know how I'm going to follow that up. That was the best 1 minute of this commentary so far.
I'm sorry.
But no, I mean, you guys are absolutely right. I mean, Movie keeps trying to take out the middle base. Well, that's fantastic. You're going towards the middle base, the place that's most defended on the map. And, yeah, I mean, the food count just dropped like a freaking rock. And we keep seeing some storms. And even though some of these little attacks, I gotta give Movie props. Going with that 3-sided attack, that was not a bad idea. I mean, if there was any way to break that middle, then great. But at this point, I almost feel like it's Firebat Hero attacking Much's Pylon Heart. It's just pointless, and it kind of makes you look lame. So, that's kind of what's going on right here. I mean, look at these tanks. The tanks are trying to mine minerals because they're so bored. I mean, there's nothing to do, so they're in the middle of the map there. Distance mining now going on for Movie. I guess, Movie just wants to make a stand. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's not going to tire FlaSh out necessarily. We have the GG!
There's the GG!
Oh,
wow,
God.
Finally, Movie. Wow.
I think Movie should have apologized with that GG for staying for so long.
Wow, we got a guy playing a bass drum in the audience.
Yeah, where do I get
How hardcore
I used to
is
play
that?
the bass drum in high school and in college.
I want him to come to my birthday party. Just sit there with the bass drum. What? I don't know. It just sounds right, okay? It just sounds right.
All right. By the way, I want to give a bit of a shout out here. I'm talking to Diggity over on G-Chat right now. I want to give a shout out to Diggity. Also, shout out to LZ Gamer and Nyokin, 2 of the top players in the United States who are hanging out watching our stream. Well, actually, I don't know if they're watching our stream right now, but they're watching it and talking with Diggity right now about the game since Diggity's having apparently some kind of a party going on Ventrilo. Actually, he said he was going to do something at his house, but I don't know if he did or not. Anyway, shout out to all them. And if Machine and them are showing up as well, shout out to them. Let's see, Machine, and who else did he say was coming on?
There's a lot of people.
Inca and Joe Kim. So, anyway.
All
Yeah,
right.
I talk to the EG guys a lot, and they're really, really cool people. Anyway, so yeah, pretty much we had a lot of spare time during the last, 20 minutes of useless game there to talk about what happened. I think we're pretty much over, but you guys have any final thoughts?
I don't want to be too early in saying this, and a lot of people have been taking my joke in IRC. I want to point this out, but I'm still going to call it Movie 3-0.
All right. We're going to end with that, folks. That is the official prediction. I'm going to move on to game 2 here. All right, and now the recording has been paused. Obviously, we're not going to end the stream, guys. We're, of course, keeping this up for the 2,000 people watching. Wow, what a game. I mean, how mean is that mOvie puts on a front that he's good and got something under his sleeve in the beginning there, man. That really got my hopes up. I mean, to me, for FlaSh to build that crazy of a wall, like, everywhere, he obviously was like, okay, there's a chance mOvie can break through. And I think there was at that point. Let me see here. Troy's giving his prediction, 3-1 FlaSh. That's a giant shock there.
It is a giant shock that he's expecting mOvie to take a game after that performance.
moletrap. Leave mOvie alone.
Oh, man.
Oh, hey, I just got a fun fact more fun facts from World Communist 8. Apparently, players who win the first game of the OSL finals go on to win 63% of the time, and that number should be going up to however many game OSL servers, maybe now it'll be 69% of the time after the series.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually very common too. You hear it in sports, in like basketball and stuff like that, where they talk about, when this team's been down 0-2 or whatever, here's the chance that they actually have to come back. A lot of it's mental. A lot of it's just you have the upper hand. I'm gonna restart the stream here real quick just to kind of refresh again before we go on to the next game. So give us just one moment here, folks.